In this video, I'll be showing you how to shade a sphere using more than one colour and blending them together. Now, we're going to do this, or I'm going to do this in coloured pencils, but equally you could use biro if you don't have coloured pencils. It would make it a bit more challenging too. And in this example, I've used green biro and black biro mixed together. Right, to begin with, whenever you're drawing anything, even if you're going to paint it or use biro or coloured pencil, you always begin with a standard graphite pencil. I'm going to sketch a circle on here. Now you might want to draw around something, but it is good practice to try drawing the circle freehand. There we go, that's not too bad. I'll get it more accurate and more circular when I'm adding the shading. Now, when you're using more than one colour, you need to begin with a medium colour and don't press too hard, because as soon as you press very hard with the coloured pencil and make it shiny, then you won't be able to put any more colours on top, because the pencil will just slide across the top and not grip the paper. If you haven't got art paper, then a white envelope, even if it's been used, you might have a Christmas card envelope left over, is really good quality paper for drawing on. So to begin with, I'm not going to worry about getting it too smooth. I'm going to get my medium tone in there. I'm going to leave a light area here, which will end up being a reflection. And I'm just marking in where the light and dark tone's going to be. So with this orangey red pencil, I'm getting some rough shading in. So you can see it's dark around the edge, light in the centre with this reflection here. And we're going to be switching backwards and forwards between the different colours as we work through the shading. Right, so I'll put a little bit of yellow on top here. Now what happens when you put the light colour on top of the darker colour is it smudges it. And also, all of these little white gaps in between the lines get filled in with the yellow, and they become much less noticeable than the white, and so it makes it appear smoother. Again, don't press too hard. It's just medium pressure at this point. And I'm going to switch back to the medium colour. Now sometimes when you put the lighter colour on top, it lightens the medium colour, so you need to go back and darken it up again. Now where I've got 3 layers now, this paper is starting to get a little bit shiny. I can feel it getting very smooth and silky, and so it won't take as much colour. I'm sure you know that your pencils need to be sharp when you're doing this, and if at any point they become blunt, you'll need to sharpen them again. Hopefully I'll be able to get through this video without that happening. Right, notice I'm turning it round as well, so that I'm not having to move my whole arm, just my hand from side to side. That gives you a lot more control. Right, that's looking a bit smoother now. Now I'm going to have dark up to this edge, so I'm just applying a little bit more pressure, but I'm not pressing as hard as I could do, because I don't want to make the paper too shiny, because I do need to add in a third colour. In the biro example that I showed you, I only used 2 colours, because in your pencil case you probably only have a black biro and a green one. You could use black and red or black and blue. And there's another video in the links that shows you how to shade in biro, and that's the portrait picture. So even if you're doing the sphere, if you want to have a go at it in biro, have a look at the portrait video, and that'll show you how to shade with biro pen. It's always easier to draw a curve from the inside. What I'm doing is I'm looking at that circle, and wherever it goes in, I'm bringing it out a bit. If I've got any bits that stick out too much, I'll move them in. And because I drew my circle very lightly, I didn't need to do any rubbing out. Tidy it up a bit at the end when I'm finished, if needs be. But I don't usually do that, to be honest. Right, there we go. That's the light and the medium almost done. Now I'll start increasing the contrast by adding this darker colour. It's Crimson Lake it's called, and it's kind of a purpley red colour. It's in between purple and red, I would say, on the colour wheel. I'm finding this colour isn't as smooth as the others. Sometimes you find that with coloured pencils. Some colours will be less smooth than the others, and the reds do tend to be a little bit granular. But it's as smooth as we can get it, so that'll have to do. Just working my way around, getting the correct amount of dark tone on there. Right, I'm noticing now that that reflected area is a little bit too dark. Sorry, too light. So I'll put a bit of yellow in there first to tone it down. And then I'll bring the medium tone around it to reduce the size of it. There we go, and that reflection there gives the sphere an appearance of having a bit of a shine on it. Now I'll put the shadow that it's sitting on. Obviously the light is coming in this direction, so the shadow will be mostly on this side. Just draw that in freehand too. Now this exercise isn't just useful for shading a sphere. The principles of blending, colour mixing, contrast, and where the light appears and where the shadows are is useful in anything that you draw, because most objects will follow similar sorts of rules. Right, I'll just make it a little bit darker, because where an object meets the surface it's sitting on, you always tend to get a very dark area, just a thin line where it blocks out all of the light.